Okay, this is Chaz Says Anything, episode 52. Hope everybody's, in New Jersey. It, it's a excuse me. It's a great night. It's like, what is it, 68, 67 degrees. All right. So this is episode 52. College and professional football takeover. There's a lot to talk about. A lot of stuff I did last week. A lot of stuff that um, I predicted. Let's see how I did. Got a comment already. Let's see who's watching. Hey, look who's back to start today. Yes. Didn't see you last week, buddy. Anyway. All right, so if you like what you see, like what you hear, please click the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand corner. So I'm not sure if you watched college start today. Any of my stuff last week, I did talk about a lot of college, so I'm going to go over that real quick. First off, last week, week 0 and week 1 ended on last Monday. And my college picks, go over them real quick. I predicted Rutgers to beat Howard 38-13. Rutgers won 44-7. I watched some of that game, pretty good. I think I talked about it last week. I was impressed with Rutgers and how they defensively they were. Colorado, I had 42-28 over North Dakota State. Colorado was good, but not good enough. They barely won that game. North Dakota State's an FCS team, probably the best FCS team. So they definitely took them to school, but I did get that win. UNC, I picked 27 over Minnesota 23. UNC barely won that game 19-17. I did pick an FCS game because it is local. Eastern Washington, I've had 31, Monmouth 14. Monmouth scored more. They got 27 points on the road, but Eastern Washington is a strong FCS school as well. Yes, Eastern Washington Eagles actually scored in every quarter, 14, 14, 7, and 7. Like they were dominant on this team, and maybe who knows, maybe Monmouth Hawks aren't as good off defensively. They did try to keep up 7-7, 0-13, so they tried to come back in that fourth quarter a little bit, but just not enough for Monmouth. So that's 4 wins right there. Next, on 8:30, which was last Friday, Thursday, yeah, Friday. Wisconsin 38, Western Michigan 24. Wisconsin did win 28-14. There's a win. TCU, I had 48. Stanford 28. TCU did win 34-24, so pretty close. That was a closer one. That's a win. 8:31. Penn State, I had 31. West Virginia 24. Not as close as I predicted. Penn State kind of took West Virginia to school 34-12. This was the shocker. I thought this would be closer. I thought Dabo Swinney would actually have a game plan here. His team did nothing. Georgia destroyed Clemson 34-3. Got a win there. So I'm 8-0 there. Okay. 25 Iowa, 31 over Illinois State I had, and Iowa blew them out. Shut them out. Illinois State didn't know what the heck hit them. 19 Miami, I had at 27. Florida 21. Somehow Ohio State got in there. Hold on a second. Let me clear that out. I was wondering why that was longer than it should have been. There we go. Save. And let's go back. There we go. So, Miami, Florida, I had 27, Florida 21. Figured it'd be a close game. Probably should have listened to Mr. James LeBruno that Miami was going to destroy Florida, and they did, 41-17 with the win. I'll get to the comment in a minute as I keep going here. Ohio State, I had 56-7. That was probably the closest of all the games I had, 52-6. So, I mean, I couldn't get any closer. And then Miami of Ohio, I had losing 28-20 to Northwestern. They actually very defensive game. Northwestern won 13-6. So again, another win. Okay, Boise State over Georgia Southern 32-13. Boise State actually talk about an offensive juggernaut. These late games, it's hard to watch because it's late and us old people got to go to bed usually, or we're watching something else. So Boise State 56-45. Like I might have to watch that on YouTube or something. That must have been a heck of a game. Notre Dame, number 7th ranked last week, 45. Texas A&M 38. I thought that would be a really close game. Texas A&M's always been a good team. An SEC team, they're going to be strong, you would think. Notre Dame took them out 23-13. That was a big defensive game. The offense was good. I watched some of that Notre Dame game. They weren't great. So I ended up going 14-0. I'm actually 15-1. The one game I did lose was the very first game of the year, which I talked about last week. I had Florida State beating Georgia Tech, and literally the only person in the world was Sheamus, who had Georgia Tech over the WWE wrestler. Sheamus had Georgia Tech over Florida State in Ireland. So that's my one loss that I lost. 2 comments. Let's see. With this great weather, I thought we might hear from the weather. I don't know if she's coming on. She's got a lot going on, so I don't know. You're freezing up better now? I guess I'm better now. I don't know. I'm just talking my way through this, man. I got a lot to talk about, and I want to get it done. So that was my picks for that. I think that's no. This is the last one. There we go. Okay. So I'm 15-1 after week 1. Here's week 2. I let me get out of this one. There we go. So I got some games here. I'm picking SMU over BYU, 27-24. SMU home. Their line is 10.5. The over under 55.5. I definitely go under, and I definitely pick BYU to win with the points. We got Northwestern 24, Duke 20. That's also these are 2 Friday games, by the way. Northwestern is the home team. They're only a 2.5 point favorite, and it's a 36.5 over under. So I'd go over on that game, and I definitely pick Northwestern to win. Duke only getting 2.5. I think they're going to win. Northwestern's going to win by more than that. Texas over Michigan. That's going to be a game. If I'm home on Saturday, it's on Fox. So number 3 Texas versus number 10 Michigan in Michigan. I'm picking Texas to win this game by 10. It's going to be a barn burner. A lot of offense. 48-38. Texas is a 7.5 point favorite. The over under is 42.5. So I would take Michigan, and I'm taking the over. Big time over. Okay, Rutgers, Akron. Now, if Rutgers is home, and they don't have a prolific offense. They really don't. But they're getting there. I think they'll get better as the year goes on. And there's something I saw last week, which was very interesting, that the Big Ten has gotten so big, I think it's the Big 18 now, that Rutgers isn't playing Ohio State, Michigan, and who is the other team? Penn State. So 3 big schools they're not playing. I'll get to the comment in a minute. Penn State over Bowling Green, in my opinion. I think that game could even be bigger, but 45-21. Penn State right now. Did I miss it? Oh, there it is. That's on BTN, so Big Ten Network. It's a 12 o'clock game. 34.5 points. So maybe they think Bowling Green's not going to score. That number 21 could go down. And then 48.5, I think they're going to blow that. I think Penn State alone could get 48. Okay. Notre Dame, their game is at 3:30 on NBC and Peacock. They're against Northern Illinois. They're in Notre Dame. It's the first home game of the season for Notre Dame. 48-17 might be a blessing. They're a 28.5 point favorite, so I'd probably take Northern Illinois. They probably will get enough points to get that 28.5, I mean. And the over-under for 44.5, I'd take the over easily. Most of these games are going to be over. All right, we got 2 comments. It's happening again. A wire is loose. I don't know. I have no idea, guys. I don't know. Did you ever go to Woodbridge Brewery? They get a lot of new. Yeah, I don't get paid enough to go to the Woodbridge Brewery. I went there. Interesting story. Before it was Woodbridge Brewery, before it was Woodbridge Brewery, it was something else. And the day COVID happened is the day. Maybe I'm touching this. That could be the problem. The day COVID happened back on March 13th of 2020, and why I remember the date is that would say 2020 would have been 5-year anniversary for Beth and I. So we're at that place, which it wasn't Woodbridge Brewery at the time, and we saw on the TVs that I think it had to do with the NBA star that was touching the microphone and this and that, and yeah. So yeah, I've been there, just not it wasn't Woodbridge Brewery, and I'm not putting my good money that I barely make to go see these guys for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Not going to do it. I don't make that much. Rutgers always seems to be in limbo. I have big hope. Rutgers, they're on the up and come. I see them getting more than 6 wins, 7 wins. They'll probably be bowl eligible. They'll get a bowl. We'll see what they do there. That's that, and we'll see how that happens on that. Okay, this is the next one. Utah over Baylor, 31-24. I got number 11 Utah. Their Fox game at 3:30. 14-point underdog Baylor is, so I think they'll cover. So I definitely take Baylor and the over, because the over is also 54.5. So, oh, wait, 54. I would just take the over. 31-24, I would just take the over. Number 14, Tennessee, 35. NC State, 31. This might be an upset. I think I picked, or did I? Let's see, NC State. NC State, Tennessee. I think Tennessee's home. Maybe it's up here. I went up and down. All right. If I see it, I'll get to it. So, like I said, I think that's going to be a close game. Tennessee wins 35-31. And the last one, I think this may be a little closer than you think, especially after what happened in Georgia last week. I think Clemson wins at the 25th ranked Clemson team. They should beat Appalachian State, who, if they are an FBS team, I don't know if they are yet. They were a really good FCS team. So Appalachian State will, and I'm almost positive Appalachian State's on the road. Oh, there's Tennessee. Let's go back to Tennessee. So Tennessee is ranked 14, NC State 24. Tennessee is an 8-point favorite, so that I would definitely take NC State to on the under. I mean on the line, and 16.5. Yeah, it should go over. It should definitely go over. Okay, so then I said Appalachian State. There it is. So that's on the ACC network at 8 p.m. The Clemson Tigers have a 17.5 favorite, 17.5 point favorite. And I don't think Clemson covers. I think you'd have to go Appalachian State to get that. And I think that there's a couple more that I'm picking. So I'm doing 16 here. Boise State over number 7 Oregon. Telling you right now, I think that's the upset of the week right here. Boise State 27, Oregon 24. Boise State is going into Oregon. It's a Peacock game. 19-point favorite Oregon Ducks. 61.5 over. I think it's going to be the under. And I think it's going to be a tight game. I don't think it's going overtime. I think it's going to be a tight game. Oregon, I might be underestimating Boise State. I wonder. Oklahoma, the 15 seed over Houston, 38-24. Oklahoma, it says on SEC Network, Oklahoma has a 30-point line. They're the 30-point favorite. I think Houston will keep it close. I'd take Houston. 49.5, I would definitely take the over. Last game, Texas State, Washington State. Just a random, yeah. I say Texas State. It's actually Texas Tech. I apologize on that. Let me actually fix that. It's actually Texas Tech. Okay, save. Yeah, it's actually Texas Tech 31 and Washington State 27. Texas Tech is the away team. They are the underdog by 2, so I'm picking 2 underdogs in college there. Most of the later games, I think Texas Tech is a tough team. Washington State, again, Pac-12, or Pac-10, whatever it is now. So that's that for my picks for week 2 now for the NCAA. JJ Biddings, I don't even know who that is, dude. No idea who that is. He's probably on Rutgers, but I don't even know. Like I said, I wasn't paying attention to the guys on the team other than the quarterback, and I can't pronounce his name. So, okay, talk about this real quick. For people that see this, start today. If you want in, you got to email me to get in this. Jazz K's 2024-2025 NFL Conference Bowl is open. 32 confirmations as we speak. 2 days away. Honestly, let's see. Is it still? I'm looking at it right now. 14 picks have been picked. 36 participants, but it's really 32 because one hasn't committed, and I'm still waiting on 3 that haven't answered me in almost 2 months. So those 3 might be out. So that being the case, that brings it down to 32. But we can have more players. Like the more the merrier. I'm hoping for at least a couple more tonight. I got one girl, one of my old friends from my bowling league back in Bradley. She wants in with her grandson. I'm still waiting to see it. I haven't seen it yet. So, I got people I know at my job. So this really could get up to 50. I'm crossing my fingers this gets up to 50. This is a good pool. $10 a week, $180 for the season, $20 side pot. That is the highest winning percentage on the site. I've put it up before. It's on other podcasts that I've done in the past. Full payments are accepted. Partial payments, again, please identify how you'll partially pay so I can have proper accounting. That's basically what I really need for partial payment, so I know what's going on, so I keep track of everything. And remember, the side pot needs to be known to me by Thursday, 2 days from now. I need to know you're in. All 32 participants. I know about 12. I need to know the rest if you're in or out. So I'm going to put it out there in an email tomorrow, whether it's from the site or whether it's from me, myself. I need to know if you're in or out, and if you're going to pay at least $30 for the week and the side pot. That's pretty much it. Like I said, this is a lot of fun. Picks are in. I did my picks. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. I'm not giving you every pick because I don't need other people picking that. But I'm going to do my pick 6. I'm bringing back the pick 6. Sorry, Hunter and Aiden, if you're on. I'm bringing back the pick 6 with me. You're going to have to be here for me to do a pick 6 with you. I apologize if you boys want to. If you're on live and you want to talk about my picks and say who you'd pick, we can do that. I can put that on. But if they're not, no big deal. Like I said, we'll go from there. So, 2 comments. No, it wasn't the Woodbridge Brewery before. In 2020, it wasn't Woodbridge Brewery. I promise you that. It was something else. I could probably go talk to Beth now and tell her there was something else. It was she would tell me it was something else. We went there. It was not the Woodbridge Brewery. Same place, though. Absolute same place. You mean okay? JJ Biddings was that? I don't think it was JJ Biddings. I think it was something else. That name doesn't sound familiar. I used to bowl at the Hill Lanes in Old Bridge, a place in Woodbridge. I was in a league. I don't know Hill Lanes. You must be older than me. Remember, I'm from Monmouth County, not Middlesex. You are from Middlesex. I've already figured that out. I don't know where else you're from. The Yankees winning, as usual. I'm watching the Yankees. They're playing in Texas right now. I have nothing. No 0-0. Okay. Oh, and Rodon's in. Got it. So you used to bowl in Hill Lanes. If you give me some people you know, I bet you I could probably figure out. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm not even going to try to figure out. I got a lot of stuff to cover. All right, so I said this last podcast. My last week's NFL prediction of these four teams: 10-7 for the Giants, New York Jets 14-3, Philadelphia Eagles 13-4, Dallas Cowboys 10-7. Remember those predictions. Let's see. JJ Biddings was the name. Well, I'll have to ask Beth. I will have to ask Beth if that's the case. Okay. I will have to ask. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know Middlesex County like I probably should. Anyway, so those were my picks. If you want to see what I went win, loss, win last week, go back to last week. Okay? Here's my pick 6 for the week 1 NFL picks. Game 1, Giants 28, Minnesota 17. I think we will beat Minnesota handily. Sam Darnold doesn't win in MetLife. I'd almost put my whole paycheck on this. I really would. Giants win 28-17. If it happens where we lose, I'll be sucking on something. I don't know what, but Philadelphia in South America on Friday, 31-27 over Green Bay. It's gonna be a game. These national games tend to be pretty good games. And then we'll go to the first national game that's going to be on. I'm calling for the upset. Game 1, Baltimore in Kansas City wins 35-31. Lamar Jackson probably throws to, good, home run by Kyle Schwarber. Very good. Anyway, so Baltimore, I just think they're going to be good. So is Kansas City. This is game 1, but I think it's going to be a bit of a shock. You're going to see a lot of fantasy teams are going to do well. So if you picked anybody in Baltimore, you picked Kansas City, unless you got their defense, then you're screwed. If you don't, then I think you're good with the players. I have Mahomes, and I'll get to that. I got a fantasy thing that I'll get to. But so I really think Baltimore is the upset of the week. Okay, upset of the week. Jacksonville over Miami. Sorry, my few friends that are Dolphins fans. One at work, a few other I knew from back in my youth. Jacksonville, I just think is that much better. Miami, 2 is not going to do it. I got a funny feeling. I don't see it happening. Let's see. Now let me go back real quick. So Ravens are on NBC. So that Thursday game is on NBC. And remember the Friday game. So I got to tell my buddy Paul. I told him it was on Amazon. I was absolutely wrong. It's on NBC. So the Thursday night game is on NBC. The Friday night game is on Peacock. If you have Peacock, then you can watch it. If you have NBC, you cannot. If you have, and actually, I can't invite anybody to my house at 8:15. I may not even be home. So I'll be probably listening to that on the radio because I'll be in the car. So hopefully we'll get to hear some of that. Let's see, the game I picked, Giants. They are on Fox at 1 o'clock against the Vikings. We won't have Tom Brady. He does the 4 o'clock or 4:30. And did I pick that game? I did not. So there's a game I didn't pick, but the Cowboys are on Fox at 4:25. That will be the Tom Brady game. Everybody needs to, if you want to hear Tom Brady in his first game, That's the Tom Brady game. But anyway, getting back to who my picks are: Chicago 35, Tennessee 19. I think Chicago, Caleb Williams, Roma Dunze, and the rest of that team. The defense is actually good. I think Tennessee's going to be left to like 3 or 4 field goals and one touchdown. That's what I'm thinking. And the last game, remember this game. This is going to be a game to remember. Monday Night Football. San Francisco, I think, wins 31-24. Close game. Aaron Rodgers makes it close. God, I hope he doesn't get hurt. He needs to stay healthy. And I'll tell you why in a minute. Comment. Let's see. What's my favorite Giants uniform of all time? I'm going to tell you right now, not the one they're going to wear on Sunday. Not the one they're going to wear on Sunday. I get they want to commemorate the 100th year. And the halftime show of the Giants game is going to be interesting. I hope they actually put it on Fox. If they don't, it'll probably be streaming on Giants.com and everything else. They're going to do a 100th year, Centennial Top 100 of all time, which I've already talked about. I'm not a big fan of because you put people where they probably shouldn't. You put people that are lower that should be higher. It's like top 10 and they're not. So, but they're gonna be there because they're alive. They're the ones that all the living ones are gonna be there. So I like the blue. I'm very, very no, Snoop Dogg's not doing halftime. Anyway, the Giants uniform that's blue, with the white numbers and the white lettering. That's the one for me. I don't care which Giant logo on the helmet, really. You could flip flop between 4 or 5 of them. That's not as meaningful, I guess, because it is what it is, because it's always been New York. So, but it's the and I'm good with the white and red. And I've never been a big fan of, but I did buy one jersey anyway. Is the red jersey, like the red plain, not the one that's coming up, but the red plain one with I think it was either white or blue lettering. I forget. I bought one of those. I don't even remember who it is now. I'd have to look. But yeah, so that would be that. Okay, like I said, remember San Francisco and Jets. That's going to be a game that comes back, and I'll tell you why. Here's my picks to win the AFC. Right now, picking the AFC. I'm picking the NFC. I'm picking the playoffs. I'm picking the champion. Doing it right now. I hope the 2 people are going to pay attention. Let's see what happens. So, I got the Jets as the number 1 seed. Baltimore number 2. Kansas City number 3. Houston coming out of the AFC Central number 4. The wild card, Cincinnati 5. Vegas 6. And Cleveland 7. So, let's go to the teams that I didn't pick. Okay, let's see. Teams I didn't pick. Bills and Dolphins, I don't see coming out of the East. Patriots, definitely not. I think the Patriots are top 5 in the lottery. Hands down. I didn't pick the Steelers. Sorry, Steelers fans. You got 2 quarterbacks. You can't figure out which one you're going to use. You're using Russell, who I think is the wrong one, but that's my opinion. We'll see what Russell does. I just don't think this. I think the Browns and the Bengals kind of figure it out enough to get in. Texans, I see. This is where the Browns might not get in. If someone in the AFC South does not figure it out, they actually do figure it out. So I got the Texans winning. The Jaguars could be 7. The Colts could be 7. Hell, I'll even say the Titans could be 7. Anybody in that division could be 7. The West, I think, is only the Chiefs. I don't see the Broncos. Oh, no, I'm wrong. I said the Raiders at 6. So the Raiders and Chiefs I got. I think the Raiders are going to be strong. I wanted to pick the Chargers. I really did. I don't see them doing enough this year. Sorry, Tony Tomadong. And if you do watch this because you're going to be in this episode later, I apologize. I don't think San Diego's making the playoffs. Broncos, same thing. Bo Nix, first year. I'm not going to poo-poo on first-year quarterbacks. I don't think the Broncos have enough as a team. Okay, so that's the AFC. 2 comments. Okay. Do you have someone you like to see at halftime, dude? I just want to see. It's only going to be a showing of the top 100. We're not doing musical guests. I don't see the Giants doing musical guests. Next, I'm writing down your picks. If you hit them all, I'm calling you Nostradamus. Dude, I really hope I hit them. I really do. I'm gonna go back to this. I'll put it up again in case you missed. Jets, Baltimore, Kansas City, Houston, Cincinnati, Vegas, Cleveland. If I hit those 7 and in order, I'm going to play the lottery that day. I'll tell you right now. If I can get those 7 in that order. Like this is going on that day. This video part will go on that day's episode. I guarantee you. Okay, if you're ready, predict the over/under wins for every NFL team. I already did that. Anyway, I did that for college. I didn't do that for high school. Pros. Okay, my picks to win the NFC are Philadelphia 1, San Francisco 2, Detroit 3, New Orleans 4. I'm sorry to say I'm not picking Atlanta, and I'll get into that. 5, Chicago, Dallas 6, and I am absolutely picking the Giants at 7. 10-6, I think they're going to be. If they get to 10-6, that will be the 7th spot. Now, let's go to who I didn't pick again. Commanders. I think Commanders are going to make it close. Commanders are going to give all that NFC East a run for their money. They got a good quarterback. Jaden Daniels is going to be a legit quarterback. If he's not legit this year, he will be next year. And the NFC East needs to watch out for Washington next year. Saying it right now. Jaden Daniels will be better than Caleb Williams probably in 2 years. And he'll be excelling to that Patrick Mahomes level. I guarantee it. Now, the NFC North, I said Detroit. I'm only saying Detroit because they've been there before. Chicago I have in there because I think they got the team to do it. I think they're a good, solid team. Packers and Vikings. Between the Vikings and the Patriots, I'm seeing as top 5 right now. Vikings, Patriots, and Broncos. So those are right now my top 3 to 5 in the draft. There might be 2 more. There could be 2 more because I got 2 more standings, divisions. So I'm picking the Saints. I'm not picking the Bucks, not picking the Panthers, not picking the Falcons. For the simple fact, I think it's going to be too close for the Bucks and the Falcons. I think the Bucks are going to come close. I think the Falcons are going to come close. The Saints got a good team. Probably and you're probably going to say I said I didn't look at Atlanta enough. I do. They got Bijan. They got not Matt Ryan. They got you like that. Yeah, I know. I can't think of his name. From Minnesota. And they got a good backup in Penix too. Which I think it puts Atlanta on again another 2-year level. I think next year, watch out for Atlanta. Atlanta's like the Commanders. Watch out for those 2 teams in 2025 into 26. I think those are the 2 teams we got to watch out for. But the Panthers and the Bucks, I just don't see. Last, NFC West, I only have San Francisco. So that means I got the Rams, the Cardinals, and the Seahawks not making it. The Seahawks probably will be in the mix. The Cardinals and Rams, I want to say the Rams will, and the Rams could shock me. The Rams could take the Giants 7. The Falcons could take the Giants 7. The Packers could take the Giants 7. I don't know. I mean, two of those three can also take Dallas and the Giants out. Two of those three I just said, Atlanta, Green Bay, and the Rams, could all take, two of those teams could take Dallas and Giants out. Very possible. Next comment. If you hit your picks, Guido's Famous Pizza on me, and it says, I'll meet you there. You let me know, and I'll meet you there. Wherever I'll find. I know well how to use Google Maps. I will find Guido's Famous Pizza. If I go 14 for 14, yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Okay, so that's my picks for the NFC, and here we go for everything else. AFC Championship, Kansas City at New York Jets. I think the Jets win 35-31. NFC Championship, San Francisco at Philadelphia. Sorry, Beth. Sorry, Eagles fans that watch. I think San Francisco goes into Philly and beats them 38-35 in overtime. I'm calling overtime. And in Super Bowl 59 on the 9th of February, 2025. And the caveat is Aaron Rodgers stays healthy the whole time. The New York Jets will be the Super Bowl champions in 2024-2025, beating the San Francisco 49ers wherever Super Bowl 59 is, 31-28 in OT. If you have the 1 and you have the 8 in Super Bowl boxes, you will be getting lots and lots of money. That's what I'm saying. We'll see if all this comes to fruition. We'll see if it's all bunk or somewhere in the middle. Who knows? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm picking. That's what I'm predicting. I think I just made a lot of Jets fans happy. So we'll see. And I think I made a lot of other people laugh, and that's fine. If you think I'm a little off the rocker, a Jets Eagles Super Bowl would be interesting too. Let's be fair. I mean, can you just imagine a Jets Eagles Super Bowl wherever that 59 is? Like, that would be crazy. I think we all don't want, and everybody will agree with me, we don't want Kansas City, Philly. We don't want that again. We don't want that again. So maybe we all root for New York Jets and San Francisco. Let's do something new. Let's do something different. And if San Francisco were to beat the Jets for the second time, because think about it. This is why I said, remember this game for this week. I think the Jets can win, given what they do. Given they'll have the 1 week off. They'll have the rest. San Francisco will not. I think they'll figure it out. I think everything that he's been preaching, that coach for the Jets will come to fruition with Aaron Rodgers, with Breece Hall, with I'm forgetting everybody else. That they do have a stacked team. This is going to be a great story in New York if this happens. Okay, what's your favorite food to order at football games? The same as every baseball, basketball, football. A cheeseburger. I don't do hot dogs. I'm not a big hot dog fan unless I make it in my house. I don't trust hot dogs out at these parks. I really don't. I do like, and I can't really eat it anymore because I'm diabetic and I kind of stopped eating it, is the funnel cakes. Like, those are damn good. But I just can't really do it anymore. I'm secretly rooting for the Jets. See, I'm only going to be rooting now for the Jets because of my pick. I've already said they're going to go 14-3. I really think they're losing their first game, and it's going to motivate them enough to win 10 in a row. It's going to be scary how good they're going to be. And like I said, they're only going to lose this game by 7 or 6. I don't expect it to be a big, a big time one-sided game. I don't. So okay, so that's that. There's my pick. Picking the Jets. I'm going to tell everybody now. I'm not telling a soul unless you watch this for the week. Everybody I know and everybody I work with, everybody I see, bowling alley, because I'm bowling tomorrow. Okay? I'm not revealing anything I said today. You need to watch this. If you don't watch it in a week, I might reveal it then. But you want to know what I had to say and what I felt in that process of thinking of who's going to win what. Watch what I say. Another comment. You make really good points about the Jets. I'm with you. Yeah, I think I do. I mean, I watched anyway. I watched enough of what the Jets were doing, what the Giants were doing. That's why I think, with the Jets, I do think what I think with the Giants, I might be, it might be more heart of a felt, and Beth might be right. She thinks that the Eagles will beat us twice, and it's possible. Will Dallas beat us twice? It's possible, which gives me, that'll give us 8 wins. Okay, So if the Giants get 8 wins, we don't make the playoffs. One of those other teams will make the playoffs. But if I think what happens and they go 1-1 with each team, we get to that 10 wins. So another comment. Everyone tune into the chat. Yeah. Say that on Facebook. You can't just say it here. Go on Facebook. Go on Twitter X. Go on Snapchat. Go on Instagram. Do it there because that's where it needs to go. Do it on LinkedIn. If you're on LinkedIn, which is I promote all this stuff on that. This will be on Mix. There's this app called Mix. I'll be on that. So whoever's on Mix, and it's probably people I don't know. It's everybody I don't know, and that's fine. I want people to actually watch this who don't know me, and want to get to know what I say. That's what I want. I hate to say it like this. I kind of want more Giant friends. I got this in the background. I got the ball here. I want more Giant friends. I only have so many, and I love my buddy Ricardo, my bowling teammate. But he's the anti-me when it comes to the Giants. Like I'm glass half full, he's glass half empty. So I love my buddy Ricardo. He's my friend. He's one of my closest friends, if not best friend. But yeah, I want more Giant friends. That's what okay. I need more Giant friends. I need a group 5, 6, 7, 8 that we all go to games and we hang out and we have each other's back. I thought Mix was a dating app. I don't think so. I put a couple of videos up already on Mix. I'm almost, if it's a dating app, I messed up, but I'm putting videos of my podcast up. So, last dating app I was on was OkCupid. That's the last one I was on. That's where I met Beth. Anyway, back to my banners. Okay, so saw this and I printed this out. The Giants announced their initial 53-man roster for 2024. Did you know we have 3 quarterbacks? And did you know Tommy DeVito's the number 2? Daniel Jones can't get hurt. And I'll ignore the running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends right now because we got to go to the O-line. For Daniel Jones to stay on, these men have to be on helping him out. Andrew Thomas, number 1. Jermaine Elamanor. I said his name wrong. We picked him up. He needs to make sure Daniel stays on his feet. John Runyon, another free agent we got. Greg Van Rotten, Aaron Steen. I know this guy's hurt right now, and I don't know when he's coming back. His center, John Michael Schmitz Jr. John Michael needs to get back as fast as possible. This will be his second year. The centers, when they're in their second year, do better. And I don't know who the center is now. It could be this Josh Ezidou. And then, of course, Evan Neal's on. He's going to be rotating in and out, my guess, at tackle. He better figure out what he needs to do. He's a first rounder that is not doing well. So let's go to our running backs. Devin Singletary, our number 1, with Eric Gray and Tyrone Tracy Jr. I'm confident that they'll do their job, especially Singletary. Hell, Singletary got drafted last night. Very interesting in my fantasy pool, and higher than I expected. Wide receivers. Number 1 has got to be probably, and I hate I don't want. I hate to say this, but he probably is the number one. Slayton, Darius Slayton. Number two, Hyatt. Number three, Neighbors. Number four, Robinson. With Bryce Ford Wheaton and Gunnar Olszewski, I think is his name. I think we got a good core of wide receivers. I really do. Now, I'm a little wary of our tight ends: Daniel Bellinger, Theo Johnson, Chris Manhertz. I hope that they give him enough space and then also be able to block too. Like Daniel Jones should throw for 300 yards and have a running game for 150. I know I'm asking a lot, but 250 to 300 would be a nice ask every game. With Singletary getting 75 to 100 a game, that would get the Giants 10-7. That would get the Giants 10-7. Linebackers were solid. Bobby Okereke, Brian Burns, we just picked up. Aziz Olazari, Kayvon Thibodeau. I mean, those four alone should scare offenses that we're going to play. Then we got our DL, our defensive lineman, starting with Dexter Lawrence, the second, Elijah Chapman, DJ Davidson, and Jordan Riley and Raheem Nunez Roche. That's DL, and then our defensive backs who we lost a bunch. So these guys need to really heed everything that this new defensive coordinator gives them. Tay Banks, Trey Hawkins, Tyler Nubin, Drew Phillips, Jason Pinnock, Isaiah Simmons. These are big names. Nick McLeod, he's going to be in there too. Special teams, our center is Casey Kreider, Graham Gano, who I did draft probably earlier than I probably should have, and as our kicker, and Jamie Gillian is our punter. I think we got a solid team. I really do. So, I mean, honestly, I think we're going to do good. I just think as a whole we're going to do good. So that's my pontification on the New York Giants. NFL news, we got something. I know I saw a couple things. Let's see. Now I want newsworthy things. Where did it go? Okay, here we go. Power rankings, who challenges Chiefs, Jets, Bears trending up. Well, I just talked about that. Holdout over left tackle Williams, 49ers finalized 3-year deal, $82.66 million. And I think I read he's getting like 48 up front. Pretty impressive for a left tackle. He's one of the better ones. Jets Carter becomes highest paid slot cornerback with $30.7 million deal. Wow. Well, with that Jets article, I would think that's that solidifies what I said about the Jets. Lynch Purcell's progress miraculous. Lynch, that's I want to say San Francisco, but that's probably it could be Denver too. Win total projections for every team. I'll say this: everybody has the Giants not making the playoffs, so I know that for a fact. Man of Steel, WP, MOTY, Hayward, Pittsburgh. So William Payton, Man of the Year. That's who that is. Hayward got a 3-year deal, $45 million deal. Brady, before his debut, he got an interview. He'll be on an interview on Fox on Sunday, I believe, maybe even Saturday. They're going to put it up there. Giants head coach able to take on-play calling duties during the season. Interesting. So he'll be calling the plays for Daniel Jones. Okay. I'm okay with that. Reddick remains away from Jets. See that? I think that's going to spark the Jets. They're going to say we don't need this guy. They're really going to say that. and there's going to be the talk. Oh, they lost to the San Francisco Niners. Oh, we need them. No, they probably don't. That's my opinion. Launcher of NFL Pro Highlights, third season on that as well. Okay, yeah. I'm not getting NFL Plus, so I ain't seeing that. Okay, next, Hard Knocks on tonight in 10 minutes. Episode 5 on Max tonight at 9 p.m. will probably be about the last week of training camp and the cut down of the 53 players. This is the reason I think, and maybe it's just because it's been in front of me, is the reason I think the Bears will actually make the playoffs this year. They have a good enough team. They've sold me on Odunze. And actually, Odunze sold me on Odunze before because I saw the offseason for the Giants, where they interviewed Odunze. I would have been okay if we got an Odunze instead of Neighbors. But we got Malik Neighbors, and I'm happy. Now, Odunze, I drafted. And I'll talk about that right now. So, my Yahoo fantasy football picks. I drafted 12th of 12 in a snake draft. You all know what a snake draft is. It's when, let's say, you're first in the round 1. Well, you'll be last in round 2, and so on and so forth. It goes back and forth. So I was 12th in round 1, which made me first in round 2. So let's go to my picks. Let's see if I can find it. I have to ruffle through some things. Let's see. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. I should have had this out. I do apologize. I did print this out for me to talk about. Oh, there it is. I left it inside the folder. That was smart. Okay. So, in the 12th spot, so my first pick in the 12th, my first pick in the first round, which was 12, I picked Saquon Barkley from the Eagles. My second pick was Puka Nacua, wide receiver from the Rams. Third pick, somehow he fell. Don't know how. Patrick Mahomes, he's my quarterback. 37th pick, fourth round, first pick, Malik Neighbors, got my wide receiver. Now, my fifth pick, all the tight ends, well, the first tight end went, and I knew I needed to get the second one. The second one is George Kittle. I got George Kittle in the 5th round in the last pick. In the 6th round, I got a guy who I had 2 years ago and I did well with. And I think he'll do well again in Chicago. DeAndre Swift. And then in the 7th round, I went and picked another Chicago guy, wide receiver, Rome Odunze. 8th round, I picked Zach Moss, running back from Cincinnati. Now, those 8 picks, I think I did good. I really think for where I was, I did pretty good on those picks. 9 through 17, maybe not so much. There weren't a lot of good picks to pick from. They're 9 through, if you're in fantasy and you pick 9 through 17, round 9 through 17, you've really done your homework and you know who to pick, or you're playing a guessing game that I think this looks good. You're going by numbers. You're going by, what they're projected to be. And this is what you need to remember as a fantasy football player. It's not always about what they're projected. It's what they actually do. And you have to assume that you can guess that at some point they're going to do something depending on the quarterback they have on their team. The place that they play, the stadium they play, that's big for kickers. And then northern teams. So let's say you have a throwing quarterback, you won't really get the running back. But if you have a non-throwing quarterback, like the Giants, then maybe Singletary might be a decent pick. Singletary went before a couple of these guys, if I remember correctly. So I did pick Gano. That was probably my stupidest pick, if I had to say anything, because I picked another kicker at the end. That kicker is probably better in some respects because of where he plays. So I kind of did a twist there. So I picked Gano, and I like Gano. Gano will do well, especially when he's away. When he's not in New York, he will do well, and that's where I'm probably going to watch him. Now, I do have Baltimore as a defense. And I said this before. Baltimore as a defense is going to be rough, especially week one. But I know in the long run, Baltimore is going to do well. So I'm sticking with Baltimore. And they have what's good, especially, and this is where you need to do a little bit of homework and pay attention to what you're doing when you're drafting. Look at the weeks when they're playing. My defense is week 14, which is very close to the playoffs. So I have two kickers. I can get rid of one kicker or anybody else that I drafted or have in that 8 through 9, 8 through 16, and send them away for another defense and just flip-flop the defenses. So I have the strategy. It's a matter of getting the every week win. So I'll go on. 10th round, like I said, got Baltimore. 11th round was my second stupidest pick. I picked Pat Freiermuth, tight end for Pittsburgh. Why is it stupid? Because George Kittle and him have the same day off. So I'd have to have another tight end. And I technically did. And I'll talk about that in 3 picks. Mike Williams I picked in the 12th round. Another New York Jet wide receiver. I think the Jets wide receivers are going to get they're going to get numbers. Seattle running back Zach Charbonnet. You were picking at almost nothing at that by the time I hit the 13th round with the running back. I did not pick a running back after that. That's the last running back. So I'm going to hope for another running back, in free agency if I see a better one. 14th round, this is where I get my quarterback, and he's a tight end. If you know who it is, then you'll know. This is why I think they're going to do well. I'm going to use him from time to time, especially at tight end. Depending on Kittle, if he gets hurt, he isn't doing well. He doesn't do well against a certain team. Taysom Hill does get numbers. Taysom Hill could be a quarterback. He could be a tight end. He could be a wide receiver. He does it all. He gets yards. Adam Thielen. I was shocked he fell as far as he did into the 15th round. So I picked him up, and I got Noah Fant, another tight end. So I loaded up on tight ends. And then I got Cameron Dicker, kicker from Chargers. And the Chargers have a good field. He'll get points. I actually flipped right now. He's my kicker at the moment. So you know what Yahoo gave me as a grade? Which is funny too, because it's not the worst. It's not the worst grade. I got a D+. So I'm not too offended by it, because last year I got an A- and I ended up like 7th or 8th place. So an A- doesn't mean jack. Comment. What's my advice for someone who's just starting fantasy? I think I just explained everything, man. I just explained everything. You got to be a little bit on top of everything. You got to know more than just the basic about football teams, about schedules. Like I said, Yahoo gives me a list. In a draft that left much to be desired, Chaz Royals managed to secure a D+ grade, setting the stage for a less than stellar season ahead. We'll see about that. So it gives a breakdown of everybody I did. I'm not going to go over that. What I am going to go over, and I found very interesting. Yes, I printed out a lot. Anyway. So the draft results. This is the interesting part for draft results. CeeDee Lamb was drafted first in this league. Tyreek Hill was second. Christian McCaffrey was third. So whoever one giant problem is, got Christian McCaffrey, might do well. Okay, can I? Oh, there's up. No, that's right. Other pages. 4th pick was Breece Hall. 5th pick, A.J. Brown. Bijan Robinson went 6th. Justin Jefferson 7th. Amon Ra St. Brown was 8th. Jamar Chase was 9th. Garrett Wilson 10th. Derrick Henry 11th. And Saquon Barkley 12th. So, let's start today. Of everybody I just said, what are they? Do you know? Like, what did that's another thing for a fantasy person to know. You're not picking a quarterback first. The projections you're picking are for the top wide receivers and the top running backs. Why? Because you can get a decent quarterback if you don't get Pat Mahomes. Most of these guys do get anywhere from 4,000, 4,500, 33,000 to 4,500 yards throwing. Some of them are runners, so they get 1,000 yards. They get points. So if you get them in the third or fourth round, that's fine. You want the top guys who do get the points from those teams that they're on. Okay. You got a comment? Kick return. No, they only. There's no kick return. It's only kicker and defense. Kicker and defense. That's it. There's no kick return. You have to get into a deeper league. If you do, good luck. I'm not going that far. That's a lot. That's all. You're getting into baseball territory is what you're doing. Fantasy baseball, which that's another job altogether. All right, I did the news and notes going into week 1. Did the hard knocks. I did my fantasy draft. Okay, let's talk a little baseball. Let me get out of this football. Okay. Baseball. New York Yankees, September call-ups. There it is right there. Scott Efros, right-handed pitcher. Duke Ellis, outfielder. Ron Maracchio. And first baseman, who was in Somerset a couple days ago, Anthony Rizzo. And now catcher, first baseman Ben Rice, sent down to the... Well, not necessarily sent down, but sent across to Pennsylvania. Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, Rail Riders, and Louise Hill. It will be rehabbing in Somerset, and I hope they're still in the playoffs, or because I don't know when he's gonna rehab. Okay, I mean, and the Yankees were doing pretty good. I can't tell. I think we're still 0-0 right now. Yankees are top of their division, tied with Baltimore. We just got to keep winning. We win the next, let's see, we've played 138 games. This is game 139. We go to 162, so that's 23 games. If we can win 75% of those, which is what, 17, 16, then maybe 96 isn't great. I don't know. You want to get closer to 100 wins, but we're beating each other up. So it's going to be tough. And you got Cleveland with 79 wins. You got Houston with 75. So it's going to be a battle there, too, to get the top spot, in the AL. Baltimore's 4th, Minnesota 5th, Kansas City 6th. Expect Kansas City to go higher. They won't, I don't suspect they'll be 4th. They could be 5. I can see Minnesota going down. I can see Boston and or Detroit going up. I don't like Minnesota. I know they got a 2-game winning streak. They're 4-6 in the last 10. They got a plus 52 run differential, and they're in Tampa Bay, who's not great. Tampa Bay is 67-70, but they're not quite out of it either. So we'll see what the Yankees go with next week. We'll talk a little bit about that in the next show. All right, let's go to the Mets. And their third baseman that they called up, who's on the roster right now, Pablo Reyes, Alex Young, left-handed pitcher. I think he's in the bullpen. And left fielder, DJ Stewart, who's been with the team before. And DHJD Martinez is on the paternity list. He just had either his first kid or another kid. I think it's another. I could be wrong. I did not look it up. Beth mentioned it before. Okay. I did have this. Let's see if I could find it. I did star it. Let's see. There's DeComo. I want to find Brian Hawk. There he is. So Brian Hawk talked about Dominguez, and that's the one guy I was expecting to see and I didn't see. Jason Dominguez shrugged off a wan smile. The Yankees' top prospect stood in the visiting clubhouse of Bowman Field in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, last month, crossing yet another minor league park on his travel log as he made a one-day cameo as a big leaguer for the Little League Classic. So he was on the team for one day, but then got sent back. But you think for September he would have been brought back. I wonder if they're not bringing him back because if they send him down again, he could be gone. I wonder. That this is the stuff that we don't know the business backside of. What Dominguez was asked, did he think the general manager Brian Cashman's recent comments about there being no lane for Dominguez to stick in the majors? Quote, I don't have any thoughts about that really because that's a thing I can't control. And he's right. He absolutely can't control that. And if Cashman is thinking that, then he can't control what Cashman is thinking. He also says, so it is what it is. I just focus on playing and doing my job. That part is my job, is not my job. As long as he rakes and he keeps raking, hits 350, hits 3 to 5 home runs a week, if he can do all that, he's going to force Cashman's hand. Verdugo will be gone. He will be the next guy. And Spencer Jones is another one. Like, Dominguez might want to think about DHing or playing center field, and then Judge would DH because Soto, and I'm crossing my fingers on this, and I don't have anything we could talk about, but I do actually have a Texas is winning 1-0. Okay. Anyway. So it does say also at the time, it seemed a lock that the Martians' return could be marked on the calendar with rosters expanding from 26 to 28 players on September 1st. Yet the date passed with Dominguez remaining in the minors, and as the 21-year-old was not included among the Bombers' flurry of roster moves, who I just said. He will remain in the conversation moving forward, according to Aaron Boone. No surprise there. When he comes up here, we're going to want him to play every day, so he'll continue to remain in the conversation. And I think that's it. They want him to play every day. So that means Verdugo's got to be gone. Like, there's got to be a spot for him to play. So you have another kid making a little bit of money. You can sign Soto. Just saying. Anyway. As Boone indicated, Dominguez can still be promoted at any time this month because he is on the 40-man roster. He can help the club in their efforts to secure a playoff spot and would be eligible to participate in the postseason. So that is an interesting change that Derek Jeter couldn't be part of back in 1995. Think about, remember that. Now that if he's on the 40-man and he does come up in September and they are in the playoffs, if they want to use him in the lineup, they can. Very interesting. More poignantly, they are not prepared to offer Dominguez at-bats if it means sitting left fielder Alex Verdugo, though that call deserves examination. Like I just said, Verdugo is the issue. Verdugo slumping doesn't help at all. This wouldn't be talked about if Verdugo wasn't slumping. So this is all on Verdugo. Anyway. Verdugo had 2 hits on Sunday's 14-7 loss to the Cardinals, which don't even get me started. I can't believe we lost 3 games at home to the Cardinals. Like, give me a break. What are we doing up there? Like something. This is why I was glad I was watching football and college football. Like that kind of got me away from the Yankees. Like what was watching college football, and something I will be talking about in a minute. WWE Bash in Berlin. Verdugo was batted 202, 49 for 243 with a 547 OPS. God help this guy if he keeps doing this. He needs to look at how we reacted to Gary Sanchez doing the same thing at catcher. We got a comment from a non-Yankee fan. Let's see. How's Stanton doing? Well, he's hitting. He plays every other game. He's hitting. So he's not been an issue. He's the DH. He's a DH for 2 days, and then he's not a DH. So that's that. Anytime I see Mrs. Lee, she was always yelling about who. I don't even know who Mrs. Lee is. It's somebody for you, I guess. It's somebody you know, Mrs. Lee. Unless you're talking about Mrs. Chrissy Lee. I don't even know. I don't think that's the one you're talking about. I could be wrong. Because Chrissy Lee is a Yankee fan, so if that's what you're talking about, you can say yes. Anyway, and she is Mrs. because she's now down in Florida and running the USBC as we speak. Oh, at the Chinese store. Okay, so not the so the Mrs. Lee at China Walk, is that what you're talking about? She's a Yankee fan too. That's interesting. Didn't know that. I gotta walk in with my Yankee paraphernalia, see what she says. Yeah, and then they go on about Dominguez hitting 307, 367, 490 with 9 home runs, 28 RBIs in 52 minor league games. That's what we need on the Yankees. Just saying. Okay, so let me go to now. I can delete this. Go to our buddy, our Mets buddy, Anthony DeComo, talking about Luis Angel Acuna. It's a name you guys are going to want to know, especially by next year. Toward the end of last month, when asked what he might value in a September call-up, Mets manager Carlos Mendoza responded, "We're looking at versatility and speed. For those with an eye on New York's farm system, that description seemed to point one man in particular, Luis Angel Acuna, who plays a trio of defensive positions and has more than 3 times as many stolen bases as anyone in AAA, Syracuse." But when September 1st arrived, they called up Pablo Reyes, a 30-year-old veteran infielder who does many of the same things well, but doesn't feature nearly as prominently in the organization's long-term future. The decision spoke volumes about Mets' September call-up strategy. That in the heat of a pennant race, this had nothing to do with the future and everything to do with the present. So that makes sense a little bit with what DeComo's saying about their future. Let Acuna come up in 25, play every day in 25. I'm okay with that if I'm a Mets fan. And let the Mets brass figure out where he's going to play. Hell, if he could play first base, do you need Alonso anymore? I know Beth doesn't want to hear that, but do you need Alonso anymore if he could play first? Can he play something else? What can he play that he's good enough at that you could not have that person? The one person you can't replace and won't replace right now is Lindor. Now, I'm not going to say Lindor is the best Met, as someone on Facebook said that he's the best Met ever, but maybe it's arguable that he's the best Met ever. It was hard for me to know who the best Met was, fielder. I wanted to say Darryl Strawberry. I wanted to say, but Darryl wasn't here long enough. David Wright was great for the time he was here, and he was great at third base. See, David Wright's the argument, in my opinion. The 10-year span that he wasn't hurt is the argument. Hell, even Jose Reyes, to an extent, is also the argument. There's nobody as good as Reyes in the Met organization ever. Rafael Santana and Timmy Tuffle are not as good. I can't think of any other shortstop that wasn't already past their prime that played in the 90s. And then the old Mets, I'd have to talk to Beth's dad about the old Mets. I don't know anything about the old Mets other than, no, I don't. I really don't. Tom Seaver, that's about it. So, and then he goes on and on about Acuna. You're going to see Acuna next year. All right, so I told you who is where in the MLB, I think. I did. You know what? I didn't do the NL. Dodgers, Philly, Milwaukee, 1, 2, 3. West, East, Central. 4, 5, and 6 in the wild card is San Diego, Arizona, Atlanta, and the Mets are a half game behind the Braves. So the Mets are close. Cubs are close. So the Mets and the Cubs are going to keep this interesting. The Cardinals could too if they keep playing the Yankees and beating them. They're not. So it's okay. I don't think the Cardinals are going to be there. I made a joke. Imagine that. So I think everything's going to stay pretty, these are the 6 that we're going to see. Maybe New York, maybe Chicago takes out a wild card here or there. I don't know. It's going to be, if Atlanta loses, it's because they just keep getting hurt. Then that's the problem with Atlanta. They just keep getting hurt. Arizona, San Diego, those teams are strong. You're not, the LA, Philly, and Milwaukee, you're not going to want to play them. But that's going to be interesting. All right, so that's MLB. So what happened at Bash in Berlin? Five matches, okay? 5 matches. I'm not gonna. I don't want to watch this on Peacock. Is this gonna let me go to? No, good. I was hoping it wouldn't have me go to Peacock. Comments. I think Alonso will pose a big problem. I like him. I want him, but I don't. I do see his time with the Mets not being much longer. If he wants the amount that he's asking for, 30 plus, for long term, I think Alonso's gone. But more a little bit less, not so much. I definitely think. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, Alonso could go either way, but we'll talk about Alonso and short term or long term with Alonso. I'd say about a month or so once they go into free agency. Actually 2 months because that's November. 2 months. So what happened at Bash in Berlin? If you watched it was 5 matches, 3 hours. It was long. For 5 matches, it was pretty long. Undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens, and Cody Rhodes won it, and it was a big back and forth. I mean, Beth even thought that the not the Usos, Bloodline was coming out. It was a possibility. Like it was just going on forever, but Cody Rhodes ends up beating Kevin Owens. Like they did everything, and they had to come up with something new. So that belt stayed with Cody. Next match, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill versus the Unholy Union, which is Alba Fry, and Isla Dawn. I feel the best team won, and that was easily Bianca and Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill. I keep saying Cargill, and it's Cargill. Jade Cargill is probably the most dominating women wrestler that this wrestling business has right now. I mean, I'll give Nia Jax her props. Nia Jax, she's a big tough woman. But she can be slowed down. I think a woman like Jade Cargill could slow her down. I think Bianca's past her time. Or not necessarily past her time. I don't know if she's ready to be that next champion again. Charlotte Flair, who's been out with injury forever, probably is. Rhea Ripley probably is. Liv Morgan's on the other side. There's a few other women. Asuka was a champion at once, but I don't know if they're growing a few, and a lot of these NXT girls are coming up. Look for Lyra. Lyra, she's in SmackDown now. She was NXT. She's the one that won the NXT title from. I'm forgetting her name. I took my last Prevature too. Not Bianca. No, anyway, Lyra Valkyria is her name. She's on the up and come. I think within WWE, and you'll see her a lot too. So Bianca and Jade did win. Now this was supposed to be the kind of match that I wasn't sure my kids could watch, but I did let them. It wasn't as like earth-shattering violent as it could have been. CM Punk faced Drew McIntyre in a strap match. CM Punk won and got his little wristlet back that has AJ Lee and his dog on it. That changed on Monday, and I'll talk about that a little bit. But yeah, CM Punk won that match. Match of the night, even though it had nothing to do with the title. Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley defeat Dirty Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan in a mixed tag match. Now, they mostly went back and forth there, but Rhea and Damian really did have the better tandem of moves and everything else. They were real. It was a really good match, and I was really hoping it would end with with Damian and Rhea winning, and they did. Rhea pinned Liv in a way that was a little. It kind of blew up the internet with the virality, and I'll leave it at that. You want to see the pin by Rhea Ripley on Liv? Go see it yourself. But yeah, that was that was a good match, and then it was interesting. Like the where is it? Distracted. Judgment Day did come out. So the new Judgment Day came out. Carlito, JD McDonough, Finn Balor tried to interfere. Didn't work, and it was good. It was actually good for these what they're calling now the Terror Twins to win that match. Last match, I called this. I knew this was happening, and it's sad because I would have loved to see Randy Orton get his 15th title. But Gunther defeats Randy Orton in Germany. Not a surprise. Gunther needed at least one retention to make it look like he knows what he's doing. And he's earned it. I mean, now he's a bad dude. He's a heel. Nobody likes him. But he's not Dirty Dom. So he's somewhat respected given the technical wrestler he is. We'll see how he goes down the road. We'll see if Randy Orton doesn't beat him again. Or meet him again to beat him again. Comment. Not anymore. That was That was WCW, and that's long gone, bro. Long gone. Long gone. ICP was a flash in the pan. They're better off. They were honestly better off doing music than they were wrestling. That was the time of wrestling that I never liked that WCW. David Arquette winning the title, really, that was the one of the lowest points of wrestling, right there. Not that I hate David Arquette, I hate the fact that he won the title and he shouldn't have. Just saying. Okay. So Raw last night, like I said, getting back to what happened with CM Punk. Like I said, he won in Berlin, but then Monday Night Raw, he comes out to talk, and who comes out to beat him up, unfortunately, is Drew, and then Drew just goes nuts. Beats him up to the point where I think they had to take him to the hospital, and then, stupidly enough, he goes to beat him up before he got in the ambulance. Like, I get we're going back a little bit to the 90s wrestling, and that's fine. I'm good with that. You need to do that because AEW is getting a little bit better here and there. But this back and forth of like what was 2 weeks ago was Big Bronson Reed dropped his whatever his drop is onto Braun Strowman on a top of a car, destroyed the car, and basically broke both of them. Like Bronson wasn't even there; he was hurt. But Braun Strowman showed up last night, went in his triple threat match. Let me see if I can find it. Go to shows, go to Raw. Like it was absolutely crazy. It really was. Like 2 weeks ago. So Damian Priest and Jey Uso. Okay, I'll get to that. Lucha Completa, Damian Priest and Jey Uso. That was the end. Why were they putting that in the front? Braun Strowman defeats Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser. So there was a triple threat match. Braun Strowman, Sheamus, and Kaiser. Strowman wanted to be in the match because he felt he needed to, even though he was hurt. Somehow he still wins the match. I think he actually pinned Kaiser. Sheamus was out, like he got knocked out, and Strowman pinned Kaiser. McIntyre visually assaults Punk. I told you about that. And then Gunther rebukes Sami Zayn's challenge. Well, that's going to happen at some point. Gunther is going to have to fight Sami Zayn either at Bad Blood or something else. We'll see. And then, like I said, the big thing was at the end, Damian Priest and Jey Uso take down the Judgment Day. And Rhea even came out, and she's a little hurt because they in the beginning of the show, they kind of got her, tangled up in the rope. It looks like it fractured her ankle. I'm curious, was that supposed to happen? It didn't. It looked like it was a thing that wasn't supposed to happen, but then they tried to make it look like she fractured herself. So, whatever the case, the Jey Uso now joining the Terror Twins, and I hope this becomes a thing. I've been hoping that this becomes a thing for weeks. I've been feeling that they've been wanting to come around and come and do this. All right, so SmackDown. Oh, good. Larry paid me $200. I appreciate that, Larry. Thank you. All right. Let's see. I think that was it for Raw and SmackDown. I can go to it. The only thing with SmackDown that I thought was even eventful is that they're switching the announcers. So the announcers last night was Wade Barrett and Joe Tessitore. Tessitore is going to be on for a while until McAfee gets back. Now SmackDown is going to be Michael Cole and Corey Graves. So that's going to be a thing. And now remember, this was all before the match. This was all before Berlin, and they're in Berlin for this. So funny how Ludwig Kaiser is on Raw. Okay, he was still able to be on SmackDown and go to do an open challenge for LA Knight, but LA Knight won that open challenge. I didn't think we were able to cross over. I thought the crossover stuff was stopping. I'm curious now, is that out the window where we can cross over anytime we freaking want now? I guess that's been gone. You know what? That was the Attitude Era in the 90s where they did crossover. So that could be coming back too. All the different crossovers. Carmelo Hayes overcomes Andrade in a thriller. I think they've had it where they've had 4 matches and they're like even now 2 apiece. So that's not much of a thing for me. I'm not a big fan of Carmelo Hayes. Andrade, I'd love to see him do something, but who knows what's going on. Owens tells Rhodes a secret before Bash. The secret stuff's got to stop. Like, remember The Rock told Cody Rhodes a secret. Now Owens is telling him a secret. Like I said, the match was a good match. The Owens and Rhodes match. It went long. It was probably meant to go long. So, and then the showdown was Nia Jax annihilates Michin in a street fight, despite Bayley's return. So Bayley did kind of help out Michin a little bit, but I think Nia did get the better of her, and a street fight was literally the only thing Michin could possibly beat Nia Jax. I mean, Michin's a small woman; she's a feisty one, but if Nia Jax sits on you. And I'm not meaning that to be mean. This is her move. She jumps from the top rope and sits on you. That's her move. It can knock the air out for at least 2 to 3 seconds. Like that's what it's supposed to do. So, on most of these women, it's going to do that. On some guys, including me, it would probably do that. So, like Nia Jax, she's going to be champion for a while unless Tiffany Stratton decides to be stupid and try to cash in that Money in the Bank on her. She's probably better off trying to cash it in on Liv on Raw, but who knows? Like I said, crossover. Lolis Garza versus Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews, and I think Lolis Garza won. Apollo Crews and Corbin could be a thing in the future. We'll see. I could see them going back to NXT too. Ludwig in Berlin. There wasn't much on SmackDown. Really wasn't. And Bayley returned. Oh, she knocked out Tiffany. So that did happen too. She must have knocked out Tiffany. I don't think I saw that. I don't know where it was on Friday. I did miss some of SmackDown. Didn't see all of it. All right. I'm not talking about those things yet. So you know what? I'll go to birthday of the weeks. Birthdays of the week. Okay. So we're almost near the end. An hour and 30 minutes. Not too bad. So yesterday's birthday. William Bracey, I worked with at Amazon. I'm almost positive that's what that is. Who that is. He turned 43 yesterday. John Trojanowski, one of my CBA classmates. He's 49. I find that very interesting because maybe where he went to school was different because I turned 48 in October. So like he must have missed the cutoff that I didn't miss. So it's very interesting. Comment. The birthday segment. Yeah, well, tell me your birthday. I'll tell you. I'll wish you happy birthday, bro. Anyway, so yeah, John Trojanowski, one of my CBA classmates. We were friendly, and I think we're more friendly as adults. You know, like, we hung out at our 20th anniversary. What was that? 10 years ago. So yeah. You love the birthday segment, yeah. You want your birthday? You gotta tell me you want your birthday celebrated. I gotta know what it is. All right. So today's birthdays: John Parlenti, one of the three men in this world that call me Super Sub, and I'll give the story. So Tuesday nights last year, I believe it was 2023 to 24. I was subbing on Tuesday nights in Majestic and subbing with John. I was actually subbing. I got asked to sub with from a friend of mine, bowling friend of mine, Jeff Geller. Parlente is one of the three other guys on that team, and I bowled well enough to get called, including Ricardo, who I've talked about earlier today. Super sub. So John Parlente, happy birthday. Derul. Really? I put a comma after Derul? Okay. Yeah, I must have been typing fast. Derul Sonier. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Derul. And then Tara Green, also who I knew way back when, Tara O'Connor. Happy birthday today. St. Jerome's, actually, Tara O'Connor. I celebrate my birthday at Razzmatazz. Remember that place? I don't know what Razzmatazz is. Pizza place? I don't know. I have no clue, dude. I don't know where Razzmatazz is. Monmouth County, remember that. Anyway, tomorrow and beyond. Wednesday, Peter Donnelly, another CBA classmate of mine. Happy birthday, Peter. Thursday, Anthony Moore, 68 years old. Anthony Moore, bowling friend from down in Bradley Beach. I believe he's a Neptune man. Dan Vitrano. He's farther south. He is down in Ocean County somewhere. Happy birthday, Dan. Friday, Judy Lenich. Bowled in the same league with her in Howell many a year ago. I want to say mid to late 2000s. Janet Morrison Cavage. I worked with her I was in National Star. She worked at another building with another company name. I'm forgetting it. Henkel. I think it was Henkel in Bridgewater. Happy birthday, Janet. And she also gets in my Super Bowl boxes. Happy birthday. And Erica Clay, who I knew many a year ago on Kramer Avenue. She was on Pierce. Erica Squio. She turns 43 on Friday. Happy birthday, Erica. Okay. Last birthday's coming up. Saturday, Brendan Fennell, bowler out of Majestic, 43. Happy birthday. Laura Rolls Jones. She was a grade above me, so she's definitely slightly older. I'm not going to give her age. She doesn't put it on Facebook. And then Sunday, James Caldwell. I used to work with him in Acme. He is a produce guy, I believe, working with BJ's now. Tony Tomadong, Chargers fan, friend of mine from bowling also at Majestic. 54 years old. Ray Smarsh, another bowler. Very good bowler in Monmouth County. He could be Monmouth County Hall of Fame. I don't know. I would presume yes, but it's his birthday, 53, on Sunday. Evan Seavey was on my baseball team back in Capley, this is going back 40 years. On my Dodger team. We were Dodger Green. He turns 47 on Sunday. And then lastly, on Sunday, September 8th, I remember this well. Back in 1988, my little sister, Maureen Kawas, turns 36 on Sunday. Happy birthday, everybody. I'll go back to this real quick. I'm really down to it with the pool. 32 participants at the moment. Okay. 2 days to go. I need confirmations between now, September 3rd, And when the Ravens play, Ravens and Chiefs play on Thursday, it's September 5th. Email me at chazroyalty@gmail.com if you want details, you want in. I'm looking at my emails constantly. I actually have it up now, so if you email me now, I'll see it. Do I have any new emails? Cash App, Venmo, Larry emailed me or sent me money. Nope, nobody else has emailed, so just Larry Blumenthal paid me, which is great. You know, people are paying. I love seeing people pay because that means I can pay out people right away on week 1. That's what I want to do. So, like I said, if you want in, it's a fun football pool. $10 per week. $20 side pot paid by either Thursday or Friday. I know Friday's payday. So I need confirmation of what you're doing if you're doing a partial payment. $30, $40, $50. I need to know this, okay? Other than that, like I said, 2 days to do this. Tonight, if I get an email in the next half hour, 40 minutes, I can deal with it. Tomorrow, I have a long day work and bowling. I'm only doing marketing with my bowling league to see if they want to get in. I'm going to show them how to do it. It's honestly not that hard to register. You go by the instructions, you should be able to get in. You just got to know what you're looking for. Okay? And I give you every instruction in that PDF I send. If you don't open the PDF and put it on your computer or put it on your phone, I can't help you. I make that just for you to know everything that you need to know for the league, for the confidence pool. All right. One person on. It's probably start today. That's fine. If anyone wants to be on to barter with me, to go back and forth with me, let me know. I'm more than willing to do it. Especially, I don't mind doing comments. I'll go back and forth with the comments. But I'd love to go back and forth with someone and actually take a breath that I don't get to do until I'm done with this. All right, so what's going to happen? Episode 53, September 10th. Week 1 of NFL will be done. Week 2 of college will be done. MLB will be closer to finishing the playoffs. WWE will be getting closer to bad blood. Those are the 4 things I'm looking at doing. There's also one more thing. See this grayish hair? It's the last time you'll see it for a while. And you'll see why next week. Keep my mouth shut. I'd rather have people see it. See it to believe it. How does that work to do the show with you? Well, I have to send you an email. Okay, so I need your email. So you send me your email. And I send you a link. So that link, you log on and it will log you on to be on the show. That's all. You love my hair. Yeah, well, take this off for a second. Yeah. So I combed it. Did it on purpose. Because this is the last time you're going to see that gray hair. I almost want, dude, that's just weird. I don't even know why I put that up. I'm going back to that. I love your hair. That's just weird. I got no words. I really don't. Anyway, September 10th, 2024, 8 p.m. I will be on. I will have things to say. Let's see how well I do. Pick 6. Let's see if I get. Can I go 14-0 again? That would be amazing. If I'm doing this well in college, I might want to start doing college picks. Legit. I'm 15-1 in just picking straight. That's impressive. For me, anyway, that's impressive. I mean, I generally don't know college. I'm basing it off of certain things. So anyway, so that's what's happening next week. Again, happy birthday, Maureen. That's 36 years old. What was I doing at 36? I don't even want to say. Probably nothing great. All right, everybody, have a good week. Hopefully it's cool enough for you guys. Hopefully, I was heard today. I know I had some issues in the beginning. I do apologize for that. Yes, happy birthday, everyone that starts that I said. Apparently, my cat is meowing that the door is shut. All right. I'm signing off, guys. Have a good one.